Hi, YouTube. It's Arwen, the professional joy seeker. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm pulling up the chat now so I can kind of keep an eye on y'all. You know how bad you can get. And this is my chat with the amazing Corina Naturelover. And when she says nature lover, she's not joking around, right? She's got cats and rats and snakes and fish and all sorts of things. Okay, maybe not rats, but she's got a lot of animals, which I think is really cool because I'm an animal lover. But Corina, welcome to my channel. Could you tell us just a little bit about yourself and your YouTube channel?
Thank you, and thank you for having me. I've been pagan since I was 10, and within the last year to 2 years, I've actually started to do practical work within my path. I do like the Wiccan path, but I also like the Druid and Celtic path. So on my channel, it is basically sharing my experience. So whatever I do, I will share live or record it to let people travel along my path and journey with me as I experience it.
Now I'm hearing just a little bit of an accent. Where are you from?
UK.
Awesome. Awesome. I actually have UK roots. I've told people I have a connection to an English king, not one of the good ones, and also to the Scottish clan, the Johnstons. So
nice.
Yeah, I told somebody I was UK, and I said I'm Scottish, and they went, "Oh, that's not in the UK." I went, At what point did you rip Scotland off the British Isles and flip it out into the ocean? Because last time I checked, there was a direct land connection. Okay. Now, are you from Middle England? What part are you from? If you don't mind saying.
I'm from what they call East Anglia. So when you look at the picture of England, it's this little humpy bit on the right-hand side.
I know exactly where that is, actually, because my writing partner and I were working on a book that's based in Wales, and we got turned around and thought Wales was in East Anglia, but Wales is actually on the other side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sorry, we tried to move your country around. Now, you talked about following Wicca and using some druidry and Celtic. How did you first hear the word witch? What was your first experience with that?
I think my first experience with that would have been when I was younger, and it was Halloween, and it happened to be my first costume to go trick-or-treating, and then that was it. I was hooked.
Very fun. And thank you for the custom of trick-or-treating, which actually comes from the British Isles. It was born there, if I remember my history correctly. So thank you.
You're welcome.
The more candy, the better, right?
Exactly.
Now, what brought you to the path of paganism or witches or druid? How did you get here? Because generally, it can be a little tricky.
I used to be Christian, and I then felt that I couldn't click with it, couldn't connect. I then went on to Native American, and I did enjoy the Native American path. And then doing search and research, Wicca popped up as an advert, and I was like, "Oh, what's that?" And then I started researching into that, and I was like, "Oh, that's a lot more like me."
Very cool. Now, it's interesting to hear somebody who's not from North America mention Native American traditions, because that's, in my little American-centric mind, I'm like, well, we're the only ones that even think about that. So that's very cool to hear. Did you have good experience with that?
I did, yes. We had a friend of the family who has Native American heritage, and that's how I got into it.
Very nice. Okay, then. So my next question for you is, what's your favorite form of divination?
I'd probably have to say oracle cards. I have animal spirit guide oracle cards, and I seem to click really well with them. It's just, there's just something that jumps out in the picture emotionally, because I'm an empath, so I will feel the emotion from it. and I do it better with that than I do like tarot cards. So definitely Oracle.
Very cool. Now tell us a little bit about the nature in your home, because we talked just real briefly, y'all, before the video launched about the animals she lives with. So tell me about who lives with you in terms of the scaly, feathered, and furred.
I have 2 black cats that are sisters called Willow and Shadow. I have 2 corn snakes called Callie and Snowy. I have 2 rabbits, Thumper and Chestnut, and then a tropical fish tank, 240 litres.
Wow. Now, 240 liters would be like a 100-gallon tank here, or?
That's about 5 foot, 6 foot.
Okay, so yeah. Like now, what do you keep in it? Are you doing freshwater, tropical, or saltwater?
Fresh.
Mm-hmm. What do you have?
I've got clown loaches. I've got, what else have I got? I've got penguin tetra. I've got neon tetras. And I've got 2 red-finned sharks.
Nice. And I love rainbow tetras. I used to buy them like in bulk because invariably the little buggers would get sucked into my pump. I finally figured out how to fix that, but I had the worst time for a long time with, I would have rainbow, and also be like, I'm missing, what happened? And sure enough, a couple of them would have gotten sucked up into my filtration system. I had to figure out all that because I was doing an above tank rather than, I like the under tank filtration best.
Yeah.
So, for y'all that don't know, I used to be an aquarium hobbyist, pretty hardcore. I had like 7 tanks. I had one that was saltwater, and I really, really loved it. It was when I was a kid. So I actually didn't do all the keeping. My mom did a lot of it, but hey, that's why we have parents. All the parents are going, no, Arwen, no, it is not. Now, the corn snakes, are they traditional pattern colors, or do they? Because the one that's snowy, it makes me think she might be the albino or the yellow morph. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, she's albino.
Yeah, I love them. I had a friend who had a snake named Tiamat, and Tiamat was a boa. And I was teaching sometime at one place, and they brought her. And I said, can I hold her? And they said, yes, well, eventually, because I will just let them go wherever. So she went down in my cleavage. It was hanging out there. It was warm. Completely forgot. I'm out on the porch after class, and Tiamat's been in my boobs the entire time. And I'm talking to somebody, and I can feel her moving, and it doesn't even occur to me. And all of a sudden, 3 of the 5 people I'm talking to, 2 of them are on the other side of the porch. One of them has gone over the edge because Tiamat has gone, what y'all doing? So yeah, there's a reason it's a good thing I don't have a snake, because I would just forget, right? I would just have the snake on me, and when the snake came out, I would really wonder why people were screaming and running. I don't understand that. Well, when I was a kid, came up with a ribbon, it's a garter snake, and thrust it at me. It was one of my classmates, and we were at a pet store, and he's like, look, and he thought I would run and scream, and I went, ooh. For me. Ended up, I spent $3 and bought this snake. Boy, was Mom excited about that one.
I bet she was.
Yeah. I got told I could go to the pet store if I promised not to bring anything else home, because yeah. And I hate pet stores that sell animals for a lot of reasons, because now when I go into one and they do have them, I'm like, oh God, I need to buy them all and get them out of here.
Yeah.
So now, have you ever done a working that just backfired on you? Like just didn't do what you wanted, gave you unpredictable results, any of that?
I did once, and I wish it had gone better. It was Friday the 13th, which is always bad luck for me. So I thought, I'm gonna do a luck one. And I really, really shouldn't have. Bad luck, but like tenfold kind of thing. And it's just like, oh, really? I'd go under ladders, and they'd either fall or a bucket would fall on me. And then it's just like, really?
Well, maybe your Friday the 13th needs to be to repel bad luck.
Yeah, I might try that.
Now, over here in the States, I always have a food question, but for you guys in across the pond, as it were, I have learned that I need to ask, what was it? Ketchup or brown sauce? I think that's the right way to say it.
Ketchup.
And I've talked with a couple of other girls and guys in different countries, and so I'm trying to develop a more flexible food question. I said that to the first person, they're like, I have no clue. So it's like, okay. Now, is there an afterlife in your belief system?
Yes. And I believe, for me, it's Summerland. And I believe that's where we go to. We have a break, so to speak. And then if there's lessons that we have not learned in this life, then we'll come back again until we've relearned them. And we keep going until you do. And then once you do, you pass on to help others as spiritual guides and so forth. And that's what I believe.
Very, very cool. Summerland, if somebody asked me to name it, that's mine. You know, apple trees, lap of the goddess. That's pretty much my visual as well. Now let's see. Oh, we're already at the deserted island time. You can choose 5 magical tools. What do you do?
5. Oh, now you got me thinking. 5. I'd have to have my book of shadows because I'm a kind of journal person. I have to journal everything. What else would I have? I would have to have my crystals so I can keep myself in check. And I'd probably say I'd have to have my wand because I have made that myself. So I'd have to have that. I don't know what else I'd take, really. Candles for the evening. Gotta have candles. And incense. Gotta be incense.
I like it. Now, did y'all notice how she said crystals and just kind of made a big old lump? I caught that.
I didn't realize I'd done that. Oops.
Yeah, whatever. Now, speaking of incense, are you a powdered, a loose girl, or let me rephrase that. And then Arwen asked me if I was loose, or do you like rolled or stick incense?
I like stick and I like cone.
Yeah, cones for me are the easiest to transport out of all of them. I really love the idea of, and I can package them up in little things so I don't like putting all my incense together because I don't like the scents getting all mixed up.
No, don't like that either.
Now, let's see. Now, in the kitchen and in the altar room, many of us have herbs that can do double duty. So, or seasonings. Just what do you use? What's something that you use in the kitchen that you also use in your spell work? Let's do 3.
Has to be sage. For definite. I love sage. I love it. But I do. I use a lot of rosemary. I use a lot of thyme because they tend to be what I can always nick from the kitchen if I'm low, and my partner doesn't realise that I'm nicking it.
So sage, rosemary, and thyme. I like it. Rosemary and thyme. We almost have a song going there.
Almost.
A little parsley. Parsley, sage. Yeah, that is that. Okay. So, how do you intentionally honor or care for deity? And this is something that if you can talk about it.
I am searching for a deity at the moment, and it's just making sure I'm keeping myself open. It's making sure that I take time to look properly rather than just like look over. And if I do get any signs and I'm not quite sure what they are, is I will write them down and I will look them up and find out who it could be. And then I might just send out a little note to say, come forward a bit more.
I like it. And I like that, I'm ready, get a little closer so I can see you. That's a really nice way to approach that. So now, what do you do for self-care for Corina? How do you take care of you?
I meditate quite a lot and I do yoga. And I'd be lost without the pair.
Yoga is very important to me in my practice now. It wasn't before and just has recently become a real thing for me. So, and I'm a big girl. People think, well, big girls can't do yoga. The hell
yes,
we
they can.
can.
And no offense, some of the time we actually do it better than the skinnies.
Now. Now, name something that always brings you joy.
Name something that always brings me joy. Forests.
Ooh. Do you have a lot of forest where you are?
I don't. I have a couple of parks that have quite big woods. Otherwise, it's if I really feel the need, I need to be with woods, I will get pictures or videos or anything that's got woods and forests.
I'll use scents. I'll try to get pine or blue spruce and do a diffuser so I've got that lovely woodsy fragrance for me.
I've got pine incense on at the moment. It's like,
yeah, it's very relaxing if you like it. For some people, they find it really sharp and it irritates them. So
okay. I love it.
Now let's see. Are you a moon baby or a sun worshiper?
I am actually a moon baby.
I like it. I tend to be more of a moon baby too. I've got really fair skin, so the sun and I don't always see eye to eye.
No.
What is your favorite meal? What if you could pick the thing you love to eat the most, what would that be?
That would have to be carbonara.
Ooh. Now, do you make it as well?
Make it all from scratch.
And I'll tell you that I'm not a huge fan of carbonara because bacon and I have a love-hate relationship. So I have to be in the right mood for bacon. And I've got friends who are like, what? Bacon everything? And Teresa Reed just posted about making these bacon maple cookies that she said were the bomb. And I'm thinking, I would try them, but I'm not sure it would be something I'd crave. So, but carbonara, yeah, I can see that. And I love Italian, so.
You can't go wrong with carbonara.
Now, let's see. Who's the first YouTuber you can remember watching?
Ember Honeyraven.
She is the bomb diggity, man.
Definitely.
What was it about her that made you want to watch more? I mean, because some people find Ember a little abrasive. I don't know what's wrong with them, but
it was her character. It was genuine. It was original. It was fun and bubbly, but I'll tell you to your face, I'll be blunt and whatnot. And that's the kind of people I get on well with. And she's funny. She makes me laugh and makes my cheeks ache from laughing.
Yes, I adore Ember. But somebody wrote to me off channel. This was a while ago, and they're like, I can't take very much of her. And I thought, oh, then you don't need to take any of her because she's all or nothing, baby. She is awesome.
She's just such a soul, really is.
Isn't she? I just adore her energy and everything about her. Okay, well, I'll stop. What element do you associate with most? Are you an earth girl, water girl, air, fire?
Earth. If I go out, I'm in flip-flops 24/7 all year round, including in snow. And I'm in bare feet the moment I can get my feet on earth. I have to.
That's a Pisces trait. Pisces being the foot of the zodiac. So we tend to prefer shoeless or very comfortable shoes. This is my foot, this is my shoe.
Shoes can go over there. Flip-flops, that's as much as I'll do.
Yeah, I'm a Birk girl. I like wearing my Birkenstocks. So, let's see. Ooh, we're already at ghost story time. Dun dun dun. Do you have a ghost story for us? And hello, Kitty.
You gonna say hello? Are you gonna be? No, you're not having my coffee.
She says, yes, I am. Ask again.
She's a coffee drinker. Ghost story. Yes, I do. I was probably in my late teens, early 20s. And one night in my bedroom, you could hear this thud and crash, like someone walking into my chest of drawers in the dark. And I was like, okay, wonder what that is. Thought nothing of it. And then you'd hear footsteps. And then things would get moved round. I have horse ornaments on a windowsill at the time, all Pacific, certain way. They'd all be turned round. And my light used to dim itself on command. So it got a bit freaky, and my mum used to come in and she'd be like, quieting down, get to bed. And it's like, that's not me. And she come in and sat down. And as soon as that started happening, I've never seen her run so fast out of my room. I was just more curious rather than scared. And I was like, okay, who are you? What message have you got? What can I do for you?
Yeah, had anybody died recently that you remember at that point?
There was not at that point, but when I said the person's name who I thought it was to dim my light would dim on command. So I kind of know who it was. So I felt fine. I felt safe, didn't feel threatened. And I then got a certain scent and I knew exactly who it was.
Very
And
nice.
I was like, ah. So,
that's kind of comforting in a way, you know, to know that somebody you love or who loved you is still sticking around to watch out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. Now let's see. We're at the end and that's just too soon, so I'm going to ask some other questions. How did you get your name?
Corina is my middle name. And the research I've done on that is it's pagan. So I was like, yay. And nature lover because I love nature and I feel at home in nature. So I was like, I put the two together. They kind of match.
Right. What's the most magical experience you've ever had in nature?
Almost like when I went through a woodland with a friend of mine for a walk, it was almost like it was almost like it was a different language from the birds and the trees. It's like their energy spoke to mine. And it was just like I was in a different world completely. And it was really amazing.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, the last question, and hello, whoever just came in.
That'll be my partner, who just
Hello,
made
partner.
me jump because I didn't see it.
He's kind of cute.
Very cute.
Yeah. So what is your best advice to someone just starting out on their own path? What would you have liked to have been told?
I would have liked to have been told, if I had guidance, that there is no right or wrong. And the only person that can tell you if what you're doing is right is you. It's your gut instinct. And it's only you will know what's right for you and what's not.
I like that.
I can do something on my path but it doesn't mean that's going to work for you. So you adapt to how you need to.
Beautiful. And there's somebody in chat. I talk about a friend of mine who said something about being a cafeteria spiritualist. That is my good friend Kate, who's in the chat right now. And she's the reason I'm reading tarot. She's the person who gave me my very first reading. But this was after this, gosh, we've known each other for a very long time. Like I said, it's 1979 is when we first met, if anybody wants to do the math. That's like almost 40 years, right? 38 years. Kate, you're old. I'm not. But she talked about being a cafeteria spiritualist and taking what fed her and what worked for her and what made sense to her. So I like that idea of there's no real wrong or right. It's what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Corina, thank you so very much. Is there anything else you'd like to tell folks before we say goodnight?
Come and check my channel out. I'll help you grow as much as what you'd help us out all grow.
Awesome. And you will find, I'll link her channel in the drop down. I kind of didn't get all my links up this morning, but I will get the links in there. And y'all go subscribe to Corina, because if nothing else, she has the best voice, right? I could listen to you all day long.
Thank you very much.
Now, when I say goodbye, I always say seek joy, y'all. What do you say?
I always say many blessings.
Seek joy, y'all. Pass it on.